Okay, hi guys.
Hello.
I am representing Keurig, the new way to drink coffee and other warm beverages
You mean make coffee?
instantly. And why don't you introduce yourself, Green Mountain?
Well, my name is School. We're representing Green Mountain. We're wanting.
There's two of you here. Which one of you am I negotiating with? I feel outnumbered.
We're both.
We're both going to try and get what we want. And we will not settle for anything less.
2 against 1.
No, my internet might be pooping out here. Did you shut that off?
Yeah. I'm going to do my evil laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. So, today we are here to discuss
this packaging line. I am guessing it is every 5 years, right? The $700,000.
Excuse me?
The packaging line costs of $7,000. Is that something that will have to do every 5 years, or would it be every year? This is just a question.
That is a good question. Let me consult my documentation here from my manufacturing counterparts.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think that's 1 year.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
So, how much of that are you willing to cover?
Well, this is what we're thinking. I mean, if we're paying for the production line, why? I mean, you're basically giving me the way of making your product. So why aren't you just giving me the rights to your to the product instead of just the licensing?
Okay, so obviously Keurig, we've come up with like a way better mousetrap, right? It's going to transform the way people drink these.
I understand that point. I love the innovation.
So we're going to license it. We're going to license it to you. But you're going to have to make the product, right? Coffee roasting, that's fine. You will have to make the packaging. Let me give you an analogy. Let's say McDonald's wants you, or let's say some fast food company wants you to start roasting coffee. They're going to have a special line. You're going to roast it. But you have to have another production facility to meet that demand. You're going to have to build additional production to meet the demand of a large national carrier. So this is very similar. You're gonna have to obviously roast more, but you're gonna have to produce the packaging for the product, because the packaging has never existed before, right? So everybody who makes anything has to package something, and this is a brand new way that these beverages are being packaged. So it's just something that everybody's going to have to get used to because it's a completely new way of packaging. And we're open to the idea of different ways to make that package as long as it works into our machine. But we've obviously gone through and tested these things, and what we've come up with is the best thing. So if someone had a better way to make the package and could use different equipment and it costs less, we will let them do that. But the package has to meet the requirements, the longevity on the shelf life. It has to fit into the machine and work properly. Obviously, we can't have a package that malfunctions in the machine because then the customer is going to blame the machine. So if you want to make your own packaging, that's fine. But this is the cost to make the package. And anybody else from here in the future who makes the product is going to have to do the same thing. Now, I would add, if you want to negotiate with other people, with other companies to make the packaging, because you've invested, I get that you're investing in this other equipment. If you want to make packages and sell the package to somebody else that we license to, you can do that. So
you will be licensing to other brands.
Of course, yeah. Okay, I mean,
so
we're a beverage delivery system. So it's like if I invented a soda machine, there's going to be all kinds of different sodas going through that machine. Obviously, we've come up with a beverage delivery system. So we're going.
Am I paying for their packaging lines as well, or am I just paying for my packaging line? Do you understand my question? Where am I coming from?
Yeah. So I guess the logistics of this would be: is the packaging line in my facility, or is the packaging line in your facility? And I think I understand that if we decide that the packaging line is going to be in our facility, and I think that does kind of make sense because if you package it, then that finished product now then has to get transported. And I had an idea I wanted to share with you guys. I'll mention here a little bit later, but it makes sense to us that the packaging of the units themselves and the beverages would be in close proximity. Now, if you want to open up a facility near us as things go down the road and things expand and you want to move a facility closer to where we're packaging our units, that's fine. Or we could figure something out. But I think you're asking if we're going to build a packaging line, is somebody else going to get to use that
exactly
in exchange? So
I mean, I'm paying.
Yeah. So if you're going to shell out the money to build the packaging line, and then Joe Blow comes along and wants a beverage in our K-Cup format, they're going to utilize that infrastructure, that capital improvement that's been made. So perhaps we could negotiate something where there's a fee, because there may be maintenance down the road, so there might be other in costs. So if we can agree on something, we can let accounting figure this out. Where how much should we charge another beverage company, perhaps it could be a tea company, a coffee company, some other company that's figured out a product that will fit in our cups and go through our machine. We could come up with a fee, sort of like a royalty.
Okay.
Per unit, it could be a certain number per 1,000 or something like that. And
like how much do you think?
It could go into an escrow account or something, or we could contract with perhaps a maintenance company that will maintain the machine, and perhaps maybe that money will go into maintaining it or building additional I have no idea what the capacity is of the production line, to be honest, the packaging line.
It's
So,
1,500.
and I don't know. Well, we don't know as demand increases. We're looking at how many shifts are we going to run? 2 shifts. We're going to have a day shift, a night shift, or we're going to have an additional packaging line. So, so it may be per certain. We can figure that out. I'm willing to work with you guys on that if we can. We don't have to come up with a number now, but
Yeah.
we could
So
do
our
a
main point is
3-year
that,
payback.
I mean, if you are gonna use our packaging line to basically use it for other people, we don't want to pay for that because other people will be using it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So we do prefer to pay as a fee. Obviously, it should be less than the $700,000, much less than that. So yeah, that was
So
our
the line itself, so the whole packaging line, installation equipment and everything is $700,000.
exactly.
Because the thing is, if that doesn't get built, then it's just it's an unfortunate circumstance for both of us, because I know that on paper it's like, oh, this is hard to figure out because you're paying for something that somebody else could use. Let me give you another analogy. Let's say you're in a small town and you want to put in a fast food restaurant. Well, that's going to increase traffic. So you have to pay for an intersection to get made. The road has to get widened and stoplights have to get put in, because your driveway is going to pick up traffic and it's going to cause problems. So the city or the county, whatever, has to put in a road improvement. Now, the problem with that is, if you're a Taco Bell and then Carl's Jr. wants to go in, they're gonna take advantage of all that money that you paid in. Now, you don't know when Carl's Jr. might go in, but here's the benefit to you guys. If you're driving down the road and you see a Taco Bell, you may not get off the freeway. But if you see a Taco Bell, a Carl's Jr., a McDonald's, a Wendy's, that now becomes a destination point, and everybody's going to benefit, including you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So now, I do understand that we do have to obviously build this package line. Now, if we were to give you a percentage to build the package line, would there be a way for other people that are using our package line to give us a fee for using our something that we basically invested in? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So okay, let's think of it as like equipment rental.
Okay, there you go.
You build the package line. If somebody else wants to use the package line, it costs so much per hour, or it costs so much per 1,000, or whatever it may be, right? They could use it for a day, and they can produce however much they want to use it for a day, whatever. Because you not only do you have the equipment, but you have the employees running it, so there's some other costs there. We could do it. Could be a rental, because another company may choose to build their own packaging line as well. We're not opposed to the idea that people are going to have to build packaging line. Again, we've invented a new way of consuming a beverage, and since it's our intellectual property, right? Since it's our invention, we deserve the rights to that, and it's a new way of consuming the beverage. So everybody who wants to get on board is going to have to put some skin in the game, because honestly, you want to be a $1 billion company. We want to be a $1 billion company. We're going to be hugely successful with this down the road. Trust me. Most people don't have, a lot of people who have coffee pots, those are going to go away. People who are too lazy to make coffee or can't figure out how to make coffee, but are going and buying coffee. You know how much people spend on coffee?
A lot.
If they could buy a unit that they can pop in a cup and put their mug underneath it and push a button. I mean, it's revolutionary. And there's all kinds of other options. It doesn't have to be coffee. People could be hot cocoa, whatever. But the more people that are participating, the more people are going to want to jump in, if that makes sense. So think of it like 20, 30 years ago, the kind of people who drank coffee went to the coffee shop. They went to like a Denny's or a restaurant, and they asked the waitress for a cup of coffee. Now there's Starbucks. Now there's Pete's. Now there's independent coffee shops. Now there's there's mochas, there's cappuccinos. They're drinking these beverages in ways that wouldn't have been predicted 30 years ago. So people who wouldn't have walked into a diner and makes sense. So by just getting out there in this market and putting your name out there and getting our machines out there, we're going to sell to people who drink coffee and people who are drinking other beverages that are going to see the value of this machine, whether it's a business or an office or a home. I've gone into a bank and they got the two little caffeinated and decaf, stainless steel tanks there. You can get free coffee. That's going to get replaced by our machine, and you're going to be able to have caffeinated flavors of coffee. And those two tanks of hot water that have to get plugged in, they got to run an extension cord somewhere, and those things get hot and they spill and they make a mess. Those are going away. Our Keurig machine's sitting there, and then the cup that they put in there is going to say on it Green Mountain, and somebody in California is going to see a Green Mountain cup, and they're going to say, "What's that?" I've never heard of Green Mountain, because you're not on the West Coast. And then you're going to have opportunities to sell your brand, all over the place. Not only just on those K-Cups, but in, your 1 pound bags. You're going to be able to start marketing to restaurants or whatnot, where they can offer Green Mountain, at their restaurants. So we see a lot of value for you. It's just part of the cost. So I think where we stand is we think a majority of the cost of that production or that packaging line has to be covered. We're willing to possibly rent it out, but we can't subsidize it more than maybe 100,000, 150,000.
What's subsidizing? Can you remind me? Sorry.
So at 1,000, we're willing to pay 100,000 of it, maybe 150. And like I said, we could negotiate where other licensees could pay a royalty for that, and maybe we could come up with a payback system where after 3 years you'll have the cost recuperated. But don't just focus on that. That's that 700,000 is such a small amount.
Can you guys do half of it?
Let me throw something else here. I was going to tell you something. So here's my idea for you guys. Every time we sell one of those units, whether it's at a grocery store or Staples or online, this is what we're willing to do. We want each machine to have some sample cups in there, a sort of a starter pack.
Mm-hmm.
And putting at least a couple days worth of cups in there. So maybe 8 cups. So for every unit we sell, we're going to put we'll put yours in there. And on our packaging, on our box, we're going to show our unit, and we like to on the packaging, we like to show customers a little bit like how it works, like kind of they can get an idea of what it is, because again, they're not buying a coffee pot. This is not a complicated coffee maker, right? So we'll put the cups on the box. We'll put your logo on it, and we're willing to give you exclusive rights to that for up to 2 years.
Exclusive
So-
rights for the cup.
To be the only brand that gets that comes in our packaging. So let's say we sign Dunkin' Donuts. Let's say we sign Pete's Coffee. Let's say we sign, because there's some regional brands out there, just like you guys. So there's some Southern California brands. There's some Hawaiian brands. There's some Northwest brands of local coffee flavors that would probably be popular in about 15 to 20 states, right? Or on the West Coast. So let's say we license to them. We're not going to put their product in our box. People can go online, they can go buy it at the store. But every time we sell our unit, you're going to see 8 Green Mountain cups in there, sort of a starter pack. So the obviously the intent here is that when they're going to buy more, what are they going to buy? If they like it, they're going to stick with your brand, and they're going to return to the website, and they're going to buy your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So that's what we're willing to do. So that's our give and our take here. So we're willing to subsidize the production or the packaging line for $100,000. You guys pay $6,000. We will.
Wait, you told me before it was 150. Now you putting that to 100?
Yeah, well, I'm giving you some sugar back, right? I'm giving you a little back in return. We want 700. We want you to subsidize. We want you to pay for the whole thing. We really don't want to subsidize it because for us, we don't want to get into the packaging. We're going to sell units, and we need to meet demand. We need to market. So think of it this way: for every dollar I spend, our company spends on packaging, for example, is $1 that I cannot spend on marketing. So if I spend 100,000, and that means 10,000 customers less that'll spend $80 a year on K-Cups, that's $800,000 a year of business we're not making because I spent $100,000. Our company spent $100,000 on packaging. Does that make sense? So the more units that we sell, the more people are, because the unit doesn't do any good if there's no K-Cups to go in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the more units we make, the more people will need to buy K-Cups to use with their units. So that's why we're hesitant to do this. And again, I know that it's a lot of money for you guys, and it's equipment.
Yeah, it's a lot of
again,
money, and you're
brand new
gonna
package.
use it for. The thing is that you're gonna use it for other people. So
You guys should be thinking about how much market you're going to gain, and how much coffee you're going to sell. So if you sell $4 million of coffee, what's 700,000?
okay, they're still gonna be using my machine though.
If 5 years from now you
They're
sell
still gonna be using my
$20
machine.
million,
They're still gonna be using my
You still-
machine. So my question is now, or I guess where we're standing at right now is, okay, we will pay 6, but every time somebody else uses it, I like the idea of renting it out. So the way the percentage then at that moment that person is renting it, then 85% will go to us, and then 14% will go to you guys.
Run me those percentages one more time.
85 for us, 14 for you guys. Because we have spent the majority of the machine.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that whatever the rental amount is,
Exactly.
you get 85%. Okay. That's that would be fine.
Wait, Charles, you
One-
haven't spoken.
Once the packaging line is here's the thing. Once you guys get how about once you get 85% of your initial investment back? So let's do this. So you're gonna pay 600,000 times 0.85. So once you're paid back $510,000, we'll renegotiate at that point. But I think what it's going to look like is you're going to sign the equipment back over. You're going to sign the equipment back over to us. We'll run the equipment. We'll staff it, and then we'll agree on a maintenance, some kind of a maintenance contract, because every time we use the machine to get repaired at some point. So we'll have to agree on a contract as far as the overhead.
Okay.
And everybody's going to have to do that. And again, we don't mind if somebody else wants to build their own production facility for packaging. That's fine too. We don't have to do it. And eventually we would like it to get to the point where we're not packaging. We're not, because we see it getting to a point where you guys are going to be making your K-Cups, stacking them on pallets, shipping them to Walmart. We're never going to see them, right? We're not going to touch them. You're going to have your own. You're going to take another $700,000 and build your own packaging facility at your own plant, and you're going to be making this stuff, and you're going to be sending it to Staples, Costco, Kroger's, wherever coffee's sold. So we see this as a short-term problem, basically. It's because we're not all made out of money. I get it, but as things grow, we see it as a short-term issue. You guys are going to want to have your own packaging line. Like I said, you're going to be making product and shipping it all over the country at some point here. That's the end game for us, moving a lot of product. So if we agree on that, we'll cover $100,000 of the costs. You'll do 600. We will come up with a fee for production per 1,000 units or whatever, or per hours of operation, and 85% will go to you guys. 15% we'll keep, and then when you're paid $510,000, we'll assume ownership of the packaging line.
Wait, when what?
At that point, we may not even, want it. So maybe we'll just sell it off, or you can have it. Or we'll keep it for us to do small batches so that we can have a packaging line, because we want to ship the units out ready to go with product in it. We want to make it more convenient for the customer. We don't want to have them search or open this thing up and say, well, now what? I don't know where to find the product, replenish my stock. So like I said, we're going to put 8 sample cups in each package with your name on it, with your product.
With that, what advantage would you be giving me?
Did you want to counterpart want to say something?
I'm going to let her finish, because you either go with her idea or my idea. I'll let her finish first.
You guys have 2 proposals for me?
Yes, I do.
Wait, this is gonna take forever.
No, mine will be very short.
Okay. with that, what do you have? What advantage would you give me with my competitors?
Well, well, I'm offering you exclusivity for the next 2 years
Okay.
to be the only
That'll,
flavor basically that come with pre-packaged in our units. So if it's Christmas, most likely the very first cup of coffee they're going to have out of that machine is a Green Mountain cup of coffee.
okay. We can work with that.
So I'm confused here. Which one of you has the authority to
I saw it.
make the agreement?
Well, just hear me out, and then we can decide. The other option we have is that we both go in 50-50. Okay. The contract will be for 5 years. And if you do not like that, then we can we can send each customer a reusable K-cup ground coffee filter, and then with a package of Green Mountain coffee. Therefore, you don't make any money off of it whatsoever.
But he wants to make money.
Yes, you do. So I would rather sign a 5-year agreement. You go in, we go in 50-50 on the construction of the plant. That's what I would like. But that's totally up to you. Because my way, with us sending the customer the reusable ground coffee filter, which will work in your machine, and us sending them a full package of Green Mountain coffee will actually be cheaper for them. It will not necessarily be easier on them, but it will be way cheaper on them. But
yeah,
it would be easier on the customer if we would just go ahead and do the 50-50. We go ahead and we package the Green Mountain coffee inside of your K-cup filters, and then that's the end of it.
So yeah, I appreciate that you're giving me two opportunities here. That's great. We have looked at what you're proposing, and honestly, the response that we get from all the testing that we've done when we've been gone through the development of our product is that a sort of a small percentage of customers, like, they enjoy that time and of the pouring of the grinding of their beans and the filtering and the time and the sort of the aroma that comes out. And we recognize that you lose a little bit of that experience with our machine because our machine, it's all enclosed and pressurized. You don't get the smells, and you're not the texture, and when you open the package, you smell the coffee. So we respect that. We understand. I understand what you're offering, but it's like 10% or less of our customers are looking for that type of experience. And even though it may be saving them money, when you look at a per cup cost, we're looking at a 16 pack of K cups, maybe anywhere from $12 to $20. So a cup of coffee is going to definitely be at least $1. Whereas making your own cup of coffee might only cost 25 cents. So our customers are more than willing to pay 2 to 3 times a cost for a cup of coffee. So we think that's not really going to be an advantage to the consumer. As far as the 5-year agreement, it doesn't make sense for us to lock into agreement. We're not going to give you guys exclusive use for 5 years. Because it doesn't make sense for both of us.
No.
The more people who have access to our machines means that the more access to other flavors. And I'll reiterate another point is that when you go and buy your favorite coffee, it's in a package. You recognize that coffee, but when you buy this new machine and you go online and you see the different flavors that are there, it becomes a different experience, and people are willing to forget about the brand of coffee for the last 15, 20 years or 5, 10 years, whatever it may be, and they're willing to try other flavors. And that's just the individual coffee drinker. We're not even the office situation, catering, events at conventions, at retail stores where businesses want to offer a beverage to their customer, but they don't want to worry about people getting burned or having a hot pad there or something like that. So they're gonna want the consumer is going to want a variety of choices, and your brand is going to be one of those choices. And we think that because we're going to package your product in our units when we sell them, and be on our box, we think customers are just going to immediately think that that's the brand of coffee that goes with our machines.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be purchasing. They're gonna be definitely going to be purchasing your product more, even as we add other people with licensing. And we're willing to, I'll give you guys something else. We're willing to feature you on our front pages of our website. So, because every unit we sell automatically has we're going to put your cups in it like I said, for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
On our website, when we do filtering, you'll be filtered as the most popular one. So as people are looking, they're going to say, well, what's the most popular? I don't know. I've never used one of these machines before. What can I get? Because honestly, they're not going to be able to get their favorite coffee in our machine. There's too many brands out there, and we can't cater to all of them right now. So we know that Folgers is not going to be there. We hope to get Procter and Gamble, these are other companies, and we understand that they're your competitor, but Folgers is losing market share to other coffee brands. So they may come on board 2, 3, 5 years from now. We don't know. We'll be honest. It's a company we can negotiate with, but we haven't started there. That's not where we're trying to go for. We're not. We want to be a little bit different, because they're going to see the machine and they're going to see this different coffee, and our tests have shown that the new flavors, the new brands of coffee, it really piques people's interest. So we think by putting your product in our box, your name on our box, and by filtering you guys as being the most popular brand on our website, that's really going to push sales for you guys. And the customer sees value because they're already going to get coffee in their box. So that's where we're at. We're willing to accept the 600,000. We'll begin production on the packaging line. We'll put you in our box, we'll get you front page on our website, and sales are going to be amazing. What year is it? What year are we in? 1998, 99? What is this?
Yeah. I think it's 98.
Yeah. So you guys, the internet's going crazy right now, and they're saying that everybody's going to be shopping on the internet someday. I even hear that they're going to come out with a phone that you can have internet on the phone someday. And so that's crazy, you guys. So the days of your trucks driving packages of coffee to the grocery store, that's fine, but we're going to be a part of this boom, and our product's going to be on these new shopping websites. So you're going to have an opportunity to be in so many other locations that you never even thought of before. And I think we'll both grow together, and we really want to be a partner with you guys. And I think we'll be successful together. And obviously we had to invest in production and manufacturing and facilities, and we're asking you guys to do the same a little bit here. It's a brand new package. The package never existed before. So anybody who wants to be a part of it, you're going to have to make a package that fits in our product.
Okay. I think we have a deal.
Excellent. I'll have my attorney call your attorney, and we'll get the document signed. I'll send a courier immediately.
Do we supposed to answer this
FedEx
question?
to you.
Like what happened in your negotiation? Well, just watch the negotiation.
Do we stop recording now, or what do we do?
We need to go through the questions.
We do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like these videos are like a huge waste of time because I don't think anybody watches them.
Professor,
Honestly, like,
if you're watching, let us know.
Nobody's watched any of our videos. I feel like we're doing this just to be honest with ourselves.
Okay,
like, well, we did it. Like we tried.
What happened in your negotiations? What was the tone of your negotiations?
I think it was good. It wasn't confrontative.
Yeah, our tones were positive.
All right.
Yeah.
What actions did your counterparty take that were particularly effective? Anyone?
Well, I appreciate you guys were willing to listen to my side. So
I like that. I think a good point that you made was go ahead.
What point?
I said a good point that you made was that, I mean, eventually, like, it's not gonna be. It's not, because it's not gonna be your problem at the end. It's gonna be our problem if we want to keep the cup,
Right.
So eventually, we're gonna have to be the ones paying for that line.
Yeah, because Walmart, because Walmart's gonna order a truckload of it, and you're gonna have to deliver it. So.
Yeah.
Did you walk through a per cup economic analysis?
No. Yeah. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, a penny, like I was saying, per thousand, right? Per 1,000 units, like how much would it cost per 1,000 units to run the machine? So I don't know what that number is, but it would exist, and we would work it out.
What major points of disagreement did you encounter?
Price, percentage of who's paying what.
On to
Right?
number 2. How important is this negotiation to Keurig? What is at stake? How did you view Keurig's position?
So I'm Keurig, and we spent all our money. Like, right? We've invested all of our money on coming up with this product, and the challenge is to get more money to build a packaging line is going to be very difficult because all of our venture capitalists are investing in the .com boom, and a product or a widget is not as popular as a website. So it was really important to Keurig that some of these overhead costs get covered. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
How important is it to Green Mountain Coffee roasters?
Well, I mean, we're gonna be the first ones using this cup, so we're gonna have an advantage.
Okay. What is the
I think I actually have a tea from them.
Looks like it's backwards, but that's Green Mountain
Yeah.
at Costco. So a 54 pack is $20. Anyway, you're gonna be famous at Costco.
What is the maximum value that could be shared between GMCR and Keurig?
I don't understand the question.
What is the maximum value that could be shared between GMCR and Keurig?
The maximum value that can be shared?
Like, what
Yes.
value is he talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like, we didn't talk about like stock options. Like, we didn't say you can have, we didn't say, hey, if you pay $700,000 for the packaging line, we'll give you 1% share of the company.
That was actually a good idea too. That would have been a good idea.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, the maximum value.
Great.
Next question.
How much does Keurig earn under True North?
All of it?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't figure out True North. I couldn't figure if that was a company or the name of their plan. Like, we're gonna go with Operation True North.
I think it's like it's like you know how McDonald's has Chipotle?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe.
Well, it says that the revenue would be lower.
Because they don't have a coffee. So they're gonna have to. People don't know them, the thing is.
So are they saying that they would roast their own coffee and put it in their own cups?
They're gonna have to if they're not gonna use other coffee.
Yeah, I don't. It says Keurig revenue from selling the True North cups would most certainly be greater than the royalties it would earn from licensing. Yeah, see, that's the problem for Keurig is that we sell our machines, but they're expensive pieces of machine, and you can only make so much money off of a widget. And we didn't even talk about licensing. We just talked about you guys paying for the packaging. We didn't talk about how much money you're going to pay Keurig to have the rights to make the product.
That's true.
But yeah, licensing, like for this package here at Costco, what's it, $20 for 54 cups? If we got 1 penny per cup, we get 50 cents, 55, 54 cents. And I don't know how many they're selling. If they're selling a million K cups, then we get half of it, I guess. I don't know how much they penny a cup. I don't know.
All right.
I think it's 50 cents a cup.
What is Keurig's walkaway?
We can't afford to pay. I mean, we really can't afford to pay for a majority of the packaging line.
Okay. What is GMCR's walkaway?
We are paying 600,000.
Yeah, like what to though? I mean, apparently you said no to paying for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's your walkaway, paying for the whole thing.
Yeah.
not.
How did you get those
rental fees?
Let's see.
How do we get those values?
You guys all cut out.
How big of a deal is exclusivity to both parties?
Something about exclusivity?
Yes. That word.
Well,
that we agree
from
on?
Keurig's point of view, they can't have exclusivity. I mean, for the shortest period of time. That's why I figured for exclusivity, my idea was, putting your product in our boxes so that was the first brand of coffee that they could use. But if we had agreed on exclusivity for like a year or two or whatever, that's about as long as it would last. I just don't see it as being that beneficial, because it's like my analogy with the fast food place. If you see 10 fast food places, you're like, oh my gosh, there's something for everybody there. Let's get off the freeway, right? But if you only see one, you're like, let's wait. You don't get off the freeway for one.
Okay. And the last question, have we captured a complete picture of both parties' interests?
I mean, our main concern was the packaging line.
Yeah, we didn't talk about like all of the revenue. We didn't talk about the licensing. We didn't talk about we talked a little bit about exclusivity. I hypothesized that our product would be sold online and in stores.
Oh, I was gonna ask you guys about that. How are you guys doing the hypothesis? Like, are you guys doing it like, how would you negotiate it, or something else?
Because
I'm confused on that part.
Well, here's my advice on that. My advice would be to write your hypothesis that Green Mountain should try to negotiate paying for, half, but be willing to settle somewhere in there if they felt that there's good enough value added, but definitely not pay for the whole thing. Write that in your own words. And I think what I'll write is, I'll write something similar that Keurig should avoid substantial, subsidizing of the packaging line, and
So kind of like what I presented to you on the
Yeah,
negotiation.
and then I think I'm just gonna write it about the negotiation, because I think if you write half a page, or if you write a good amount of information in there, you'll get full credit. So
Yeah. Okay. The end. Hey guys, we did it
All
on
right.
time.